Welcome to the Engineerable channel, another episode of What's in the Box? Today we're going to be taking a look at this massive new gel blaster from Gel Blaster brand, the Surge XL. This is the big daddy of the Surge. Gel Blaster has now made a rifle-sized blaster that's kind of based off of the aesthetics of their original Surge, but it has a lot more power. They claim that the velocity is selectable from 170 FPS, which is the top end of the regular Surge, up to 250 FPS. It also comes with a larger hopper that holds 1,000 gelettes instead of 800. It has the same style front end with the removable fins. It says that it shoots up to 12 shots per second. One really cool thing is not only does it have semi-automatic and fully automatic, but it also has 3-shot burst, which is a great feature for gel blasters, and I'll tell you why you want that later. The SKU on this is now the GBX001. Here is the back of the box in all its glory and information. Looks like Gel Blaster does offer a full face mask now, which is great for kids, especially with the strength of this blaster at 250 FPS. You get hit in the face, you're gonna feel it. There's also a Starfire XL version of this blaster, which I'm gonna be reviewing in the future. Now let's take a look at what's in the box. One thing I wanted to comment on that I like what Gel Blaster's doing here is they've gotten rid of almost any plastic in the packaging. The outer box is cardboard, this insert is cardboard. There's a lot less plastic to waste there, which is nice. So you can just throw all this stuff in the recycling and know that it's going to get recycled. So it comes with this preloaded hopper, so you can just start blasting right out of the box. You don't need to wait for the gels to hydrate. And this hopper is larger than the previous hoppers. This holds 1,000 gelettes. This holds 800. This is the original Surge one. And this is the original Surge one, the grenade style, but the latest version of the Surges have this shape hopper. But what's nice is the thread is the same on all of them, so you can use any of these hoppers with this blaster. And vice versa, you can also use the larger hopper with the smaller Surge. This arrives sealed, so you need to peel the seal off before you can use it. Comes with a carrying sling, so you have some sling attachment points on the blaster, and you can sling it over your shoulder to help carry it. There's a USB-C cable. This is the velocity adjustment wrench. So this adjusts the FPS from 170 FPS to 250 FPS. I'll show you how to use that later. And finally, we have the blaster body itself. I really like the layout and the appearance of this thing. No one is going to confuse this with a real gun when you're playing around with it, which is great. And I just like the sci-fi appearance. It has a really good feel in the hand. I'll be talking more about the body in a minute after I unbox everything. Here's the stock that it comes with. Now the stock is not adjustable, it's just a fixed length. And let's see what's underneath. So we've got an instruction sheet download. It doesn't come with actual instruction sheets, so you have to scan this if you want the instructions. There's 10,000 gelettes and some safety glasses, which are poop-tastic as usual. If these are the only safety glasses you have, use them. But I would highly recommend some better safety glasses, especially with the speed of this blaster. You should get something like the Revision Locus military grade safety glasses that can be purchased for only like about $15. Check out the links below for that. And you get a Gel Blaster sticker. This is everything that comes in the Gel Blaster Surge XL package. So let's take a look at the Surge XL blaster. It's got some plastic here covering these logo things. I don't know why that's necessary after all that non-plastic packaging they used. I don't know why they add a little bit of plastic there just to protect their logo. This is a nice, large, rifle-style blaster. Feels really good in the hand. It's got multiple grip positions. Your other hand can hold on to this, can hold on to this, you can hold on down here. You have many different options here. There are no tactical rails on the top. The hopper would get in the way of any sighting you can do on the top, but they did add 2 tactical rails to the bottom. So there's one tactical rail up here, and there's one tactical rail down here. Check this out, this is cool. I noticed that if you have extra hopper adapters, you can actually stick them onto the tactical rails here, and then you can have extra ammo storage and like a handle grip up front. And you could also put it down here, and you have extra ammo storage down there. So when you run out of ammo in your main hopper, then you can quickly switch out with another hopper that's down here. Just flip it over, remove that one, and switch out, and you're ready to keep going without having to go reload somewhere. So the hopper feed neck that comes with it, it also fits down here on the bottom and here in the front. Snaps into position in both of those places. So one thing I wanted to point out, which is interesting, is that there's an extra feature back here that has a snap in it, like a slide and lock, kind of like the hopper feed neck, the way this slides and locks in place. They have the same feature right here on the outside of the body where something would slide down in here and slide forward and lock in place. And if you look at the distance right there, it's the same as the hopper distance to where this snap feature is. So that means that they may have some concepts for some kind of slide and lock hopper on top that's not just the regular bottle. I haven't seen anything about this, but it looks like they might have designed this in there for some accessories in the future, so I'd be curious to see what they have intentions to do. I would actually be interested in designing my own custom hopper, 3D print it, that fits on top of here and has a lower profile than the tall bottle hopper. The power switch is on the bottom here, and then you have the USB-C connector on the bottom also. These look like water drain holes here in case you get water inside of it, or maybe you put too much water inside the hopper and it goes down in there. But make sure that you don't have excess water in these hoppers because it will damage your blaster. This is not a water gun, it's a gel blaster. So let's turn this thing on. One of the first things you'll notice is that there's a bunch of lights on here. There's 4 LEDs back here and some LEDs up here that just stay on. These LEDs up here, in my opinion, are just annoying, especially at night. These LEDs actually are cool because they have a function. These LEDs tell you how much battery life is left. And in fact, when you're charging, they also show you what level of charging it is and when it's full. So when it's full, all 4 LEDs are full, and then it slowly goes down as you deplete it. And then when you're charging, the LEDs will flash, and then once it's fully charged, the LEDs will all go solid. That's actually a really nice feature, so you know how much battery power you have left. Trigger area, in my opinion, is too small. I may have big hands, but I have skinny, relatively thin fingers. And even for me, this is just enough space to put my finger in here. Anyone with bigger fingers than mine is going to have trouble reaching in this trigger area. The trigger may be small, but it's very responsive. As soon as you pull the trigger, it just fires. And that's because they return the piston to the same point every time, so it's ready to shoot as soon as you pull the trigger. Unlike most cheap blasters that don't have any sensors to know where the piston is, this one has some kind of sensor inside that knows the position of the piston and gets it ready for the next shot. So some of the other blasters, you may have to wait when you pull the trigger for the piston to do kind of a full cycle before it shoots. Although I can pull the trigger faster than it can shoot. But not by much. One super nice feature about this blaster, which I have not seen in any other blaster of this price range, is a 3-shot burst. Usually, in order to get a 3-shot burst, you either need to buy an expensive blaster or add a MOSFET that's programmable with that feature. And that means that you also need to have sensors inside the gearbox. So this one, when you put on 3-shot burst, pull the trigger, you get 3 shots very fast. And what's so awesome about the 3-shot burst is that the gel blasters are just not that accurate. So you end up shooting in basically full auto most of the time because it's hard to hit your target with just single shot from a distance. Single shot is good for indoors and close quarters combat, but for outdoors and distance, it's going to be really difficult to hit your target with single shot. However, if you're all playing with like a 3-shot burst, then you're going to conserve a little bit of ammo, and it's going to give you a spread that you're more likely to hit your target. So then the next option is full auto. And in full auto, they claim that it shoots about 12 shots a second. Sounds about right. In the rear is the velocity adjustment knob. You cannot reach the velocity adjustment knob by hand. You need to use the wrench. And they probably did that on purpose so kids don't crank it up. On the side here is a power gauge. So right now it's at the highest power level. And so you take this wrench and you put it back here, and then you start to turn it. And it takes, honestly, a long time to turn it and adjust it all the way to the lowest power. It's quite annoying to make the full range adjustment. I actually wish they had like a little crank, and I may actually 3D print a crank of sorts so that I can just go like quickly crank it to the other end. So that took a lot of turns to put it all the way down low power. So on the lowest power with my finger over the end, I can definitely feel that it's quite low. It sounds kind of weird though at lowest power. Doesn't sound very healthy. But what this adjustment is doing is it's actually adjusting the compression of the spring that pushes the piston. The more power you give it, the more you're pre-compressing that spring and preloading it. And for less power, you're decompressing the spring. I'm going to do a speed and accuracy test later for this gel blaster, so keep an eye out for that video in the future. On full power, I can feel that it has a lot more force. In the full auto mode, it's still easy to shoot single fire. Every trigger pull basically shoots one shot. They still have the same fins up here as the Gel Blaster Surge, which are removable and interchangeable, so you can change the color for maybe for different teams, and then the tip comes out here. And you know what? This makes it almost accessible enough to add a hop up here on the end of the barrel. There's almost enough space, except for there's a piece of plastic here that has an electrical contact on it and a piece of plastic down here that has electrical contact. So in order to add the hop up, those may have to be cut away, and then you're going to preclude using whatever accessory they have in the future for this, which I haven't seen any accessories yet, but they say that they have something coming out that's going to attach on the end. I don't know what it's going to be. So I'm going to mod one of these blasters with a hop up, because in my testing of these blasters, it severely needs a hop up at high velocity for accuracy. So I'm probably going to cut away all this plastic in here and then fit a hop up in that space. Here's one strange thing, is they left that slot from the Gel Blaster 1.5 version or something like that had the adjustable speed selector here. The barrel is aluminum, goes all the way back. I measured the diameter of the barrel hoping it was 9.5 millimeters, but it's not. It's like 9.15 or something millimeters, which is not really a standard barrel diameter, so it makes adding the standard hop up a little bit more difficult because you have to add a shim. Although I found another hop up which I'm going to try, which doesn't need a shim. It says it's adjustable range from like 9 to 10 millimeters or something. Peering down in that hole, it looks like I'll be able to easily use the LEDs that are here on either side and relocate them to this T-piece here right before they go into the barrel, so that we can add an internal tracer mod to this blaster. Keep an eye out for that video in the future also. When you're putting this back on, the tip has to go in first and then the fins go in. The strap that they included, which I never use these straps, but it clips on the top here on these areas, so then you can sling it over your shoulder. The stock that comes with it is super easy to attach on. Stick it here, slide it up. If you want to take it off, you push the snap in, and then you slide it off. The stock feels good. It's not loose. It's a little bit flexy like this, but it's rigid in the direction you need it. It's actually a decent size for an adult. Might be a little bit large for a child, but this blaster is really meant for a teenager or some of that, so this stock would be perfect for that. Personally, I don't find the stocks that useful with the gel blasters because they're so inaccurate that you kind of shoot sighting where your last balls went and then you adjust from there. You don't really sight over the gun. And for me, the stocks get in the way during play. So I like a shorter, more compact blaster like this. This is the perfect size. Keep an eye out for my future videos where I'll be doing some speed tests, accuracy tests, doing some mods like an internal tracer mod, and I'll do some more reviews as I use this blaster and put it through its paces.